Oh, here's this thing. Lankota corn cracker, 3-point model. And yeah, this is the other piece we got. So for grinding up corn, so given use this thing for the rest of the corn, we actually did quite a bit. Got a good pile down there now. So, but it's not like a roller mill like at the elevator, but it does a fairly good job though. Um, some stuff maybe gets a little bit too fine, but you just back off on speed. There's still some whole kernels that get through, so looking at the samples and from Lankota's website samples, they had different, how many hammers they had and how many rows of hammers, and then where they had the shear plate set, and yeah, and just kind of started from there, and then made some adjustments then. So plus speed too, kind of not running at full speed either, so not to get it too fine, but still grinding up somewhat halfway decent. So, but it worked pretty good. It won't take much to store. It doesn't take much at all. This thing is heavy. I think this thing's like close to 3,500 pounds. That New Holland grind I'm taking down to the dealer, back to the dealer for the time being. They're gonna see what's wrong with it and fix it probably. So, kind of still working with them yet. So I'm gonna take it down tomorrow. So then they'll get to it when they get to it then. So it's not in a rush. But only thing about that thing is I need to get a different set of screens for it if we do run that instead. It'd probably work pretty good then. See, the thing I like about that, it's got the loadout auger on there, and with how it works too, it really contains more of the fines than too. Kind of can get in the pile, all the fine particles too. So that's what I like about that one more. But this thing though, it's much heavier built. I think this thing's kind of easier, I would say. It kind of works good for going in our bunker. We can just shoot it in. Works pretty good. But the drawback though is can't really load anything on a truck though. So I mean, I guess we could, make a pile and then just take the auger and dump it on the truck. Then do it that way if we need some in the shed or something, or gravity, or whatever. I mean, you can just do that. I suppose one way to do it. But nice thing about the New Holland grinder is it's its own included system. You don't need any extra augers or anything. You just dump the truck straight into it and does everything for you. This thing though, we can go through a lot quicker, and yeah, I think this thing has a little bit. This thing has a little more adjustments. Put it that way. This has more adjustments on here. That thing is just pretty much reliant on screens and speed. This thing, you got hammers you can remove. You can remove. Right now, this thing only has, how many rows of hammers? Is that 4 rows? 4 out of the 5 rows of hammers in here right now. This is what this is out. They have one row out, so you can take them in and out. That's a little more to it though. Or you can adjust these things. These shear plates here, they slide in and out here for, how often you want the grain to come into contact with some of this stuff here. So there's adjustment there. Plus, engine speed too, tractor speed. How fast you want this thing to go. This thing takes a little bit to get going. We actually have to put a bigger grade 8 shear bolt in here. They call for grade 5, but we had to put grade 8s so we could quit breaking them, just try and get the darn thing going. That's the biggest thing we had issues with getting going. There's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of mass in here. Like it's ridiculous how much mass is in here. It's more than I think it's more than the corn shredder is maybe too. It's crazy. I'm hoping I can use a TS6 on this thing. That'd be great if I could use the TS6 on this thing. I hope I can lift it. I think it should. The mass is pretty much centralized back here. I can lift two round bales with that tractor with the bale fork. But, I just wonder. I'll try it out sometime if I can lift it or not. So I got a couple things there. I was able to figure out what I want to do with that New Holland grinder. Maybe I'll, to get it fixed here. Unless depends what happens here. Unless the dealer will just give me my money back for it. seeing what's going on with it, and or they'll fix it up. I'll bring it back. I'll fix up the rest of it myself, then get it in good working condition. Then probably, probably would still use it yet. If I get some other screens for it, probably give it a whirl again then. So, and we'll see what we want to do then. Depends what we want to do and use it for then. But I think this Lankota one might be the ticket. Yeah, it's a little more expensive. It was pretty much twice the price, twice the money as the New Holland grinder was. But this is a newer machine though, it's got more parts availability. Plus, it just seems like a simpler machine too. It might suit our needs fine. Like I say, there's things I liked about that New Holland grinder more than I liked about this thing, and vice versa. But we'll just kind of see which one we like more. But but that New Holland, I haven't been impressed with it yet, though. It's but figure out what we want to do with it, so we'll figure it out then. You're trapped in here for a couple days, huh? I wasn't over here yesterday. Yeah, I wasn't over here at all. You've been in here for probably 36 hours. Yeah. Hope we got some birds and mice in here, but yeah, finally got the stuff kind of shoved in, so not everything we want is in here yet. Just kind of leaving some space up front here for if we have to get some stuff out yet. Until before it gets really cold out and the snow flies, so I'm gonna want to put the auger in here yet and a rake yet probably, and a few more things in here yet. So get the shed filled in. Red building is, well, a couple tractors might get switched around, but the red building gotta wait for the payloader to come yet. Still waiting on that thing yet, so that's gonna take up the rest of the space in there yet. So got the combine cleaned off at least. So just gotta, some of the machines won't get cleaned off this year, but I gotta at least try to detail the cabs. Hope I got time this winter to do that and detail them. God, some of those cabs are just absolutely horrendous. Boy, it's been a while since it's been this nice out in December. Holy smokes. We might see a record high here today. Or tomorrow, one or the other. It's colder inside the sheds. It's cold in here. But it's gonna come crashing down at some point though. I think it's looking like today and tomorrow, really nice like this. Beautiful. Then we're gonna tank down the other way now here. We're gonna probably get back to averages then here later this week. So yeah, little tractor works. It works. It lifts it. So I just wonder how much this thing actually does weigh. I don't think it's 3,500 pounds. I don't think it is. I think it might be a little bit lighter, but I'm glad it does lift it though. The PTO engagement on this thing is just, it's manual lever. The only tractor on the farm that's a manual lever engagement, and I'm gonna leave it hooked up here. I did dump a little bit of number one fuel in him just in case. We might not have to use this for a month. Got quite a bit of corn ground now, so but plan on starting to feed the cows some corn next week. So with the calves too, are gonna grow more and more and more. So, but yeah, this thing looks pretty slick. Looks pretty slick. Since we got our corn is a little bit wetter. I mean, we've been, we finally got the semi-empty now of the corn. We just got the big truck is still full yet, and the grouty boxes have some stuff on yet, but the rest are in the grain bins then. So we've been using, pulling off the trucks then for now, corn that's hasn't seen any drying. So I mean, most of that corn, was from the last day, so it's a little bit damper. So it's probably anywhere from 17 to 20% moisture. So, so we pretty much got all these shear plates in, and it does a fairly good job. It's not as consistent as a feed grinder or a roller mill. A roller mill is probably the best thing to do for corn cracking, really. But for this thing, though, where I have it set for the moisture of the corn works. Been working pretty good. Not too many whole kernels, but a little bit of fine stuff. Like I could say, it's a mixed bag, but works pretty good. Plus, there's one row of hammers out too. That's the way it comes from the factory. They have whole row of hammers. I think they can have, is it five or six rows of hammers in here? I forget. Just have to take this excess plate off, or take this plate off to look at it. You can get in there then. So, but or here too. But that's how you can kind of adjust the coarseness. Plus engine speed too. Running it around. Tractor's running about 1600 RPM. Whatever PTO speed that is, 700 some maybe. So it does what we want it to do for now. So, but I'm sure if we have drier corn, maybe I'm gonna have to adjust those shear plates, then pull some of them out, or just reduce speed. But I don't know how much more speed I want to reduce, because you still want to have some speed, to kick it out halfway decent. So plus should try a little more volume. We're just pretty much running our little 6-inch auger, as you saw, for filling it. This thing has no trouble keeping up with it. We could probably really use a conveyor if we wanted to go faster yet, but then I'm gonna need a higher horsepower then, because this thing's probably, when we're running, it's probably the dash shows 3 gallons an hour on this tractor. I think this tractor is, when I've been hauling bales before with it, or going down the road, I've seen this thing like get up to 7 gallons an hour when it's like under full load. So it's probably at around close to 50% power when the way we have it running. So so I mean, there's plenty of headroom yet, but at least we won't have any issues with plugging or whatever. So just letting the 6-inch auger run full and calling it good. So I mean, we're not really much in a hurry when we're doing this stuff. So yeah, we got a mixture of here. You got some grade 8 bolts here, or no, these are factory. I think these are factory bolts here. Actually, I'm not even sure which. No, these bolts Dad must have put in, because we starting the massive, we broke 4 shear pins. There's actually 2 shear pins on this thing, one on either side up here. So they only had grade 5s, and they only call for grade 5s, but we put in some grade 8s for the Massey the one time, just to get it, because when the startup is so harsh on it that, for something like this. So it's just like, well, so we put grade 8s and get by. Now using this thing now, yeah, these other bolts will work fine now again. So just because I can see that manual engagement is just, yes, the electronic is nicer. It's quicker, easier, when we're, for a lot of things, but but for manual engagement though, for certain loads, man, can't beat it. And the New Holland, when I get that back from the dealer, so see what's gonna happen there. I just wonder. Okay, say, I don't know how much I'm gonna be paying out of pocket for it or not. I don't know what's gonna happen, or if they'll just take it back, refund me my money, or I don't know what I'm gonna do with it for sure. I mean, if I gotta keep it, yeah, I'll just fix it up the rest of the way then, and probably still use it yet, maybe at times. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't know. Have to wait and see on that though. What I want to do with that feed grinder. So, like I say, as I mentioned before in the past video, there's pros and cons to both the Lankota one and that New Holland grinder. There's pros and cons to both. So while it's nice out here, I'm gonna do some maintenance stuff and yeah, just enjoy the day, get some stuff done here. So.